gave it to the floor. Somebody, can someone remind me? I think gold is one, then the other two, GBP NZD and AUD USD thereabouts. Those are the three pairs that we're going to analyze today. Okay. So for those who are not on the call, please go. We're going to call this exactly 10 p.m. or less than that. We're going to go stop this call. Now, we looking at this, we already know the strategy we've been using all this while, support and resistance zone. Last week, I taught rectangle strategy for those who were on the call. And I'm going to show that again with the three pairs that we're going to analyze: gold, GBP NZD, and let me change this to GBP NZD. And the last one, the GBP USD. We already have a pattern here, which is respecting the rectangle, but I'm going to delete it and we'll do it again for the benefit of those. I also have a rectangle here too, which price is respecting, but I'm going to delete it and we'll draw it again for benefit of those that were not here last week. So, like I said earlier, the rectangle strategy, it's only on a 4 hours time frame. You draw it on a 4 hours time frame. 4 hours time frame. If you can remember the rules and the terms that you're going to follow when you're doing it, can you type it? If you're in the class last week, type yes in the chat box. If you're in the class last week, type yes on the chat box. Let me know those that were actually following and those that actually did their practical. Okay, Bakare, Jeremiah, Ibrahim. Now tell me the rules that you need to follow. Type the rule, type each person, type one. If somebody has typed one, you type the second one. The rules that you need to look out for when you want to analyze the rectangle strategy. I gave down some rules. I typed them down. Things that you're going to look out for. I already said one. So tell me the rest before we continue this class. Let me know that you are following and you've been practicing. Identify the trend first. Good. Only on H4 time frame. Good. Yes, just 2 people. I did all that. Where's the other ones? That's the same. That's if you want to identify the trend. Yes. Okay. Is it just this? Draw a rectangle to cover the impulse move. Thank you. And what else? Okay. All right, good. I think you guys are really fully identify your pivot zones. Beautiful. Okay, now let's start with, was it GBP, GBP USD? But well, this is the 3 pairs here now, so we're going to start with that. Now, looking at this chart, as we normally do as usual, what do you see? What trend are you seeing? Upward or a downward trend? Just looking at it without analyzing it. What are you seeing? Is it an uptrend or a downtrend? Please, let this be an interactive class. So I need you to type on the chat box. Uptrend, beautiful. Okay, now using the rectangle strategy, what I said earlier was we are going to identify the trend, right? By using our what? Trend line. Good, uptrend. Now I've actually zoomed out. Now I'm zooming out. You can see it to the last that you can't zoom any longer. Now, if we've already identified that this is an uptrend, and now for us to know where the trend, the beginning of the trend, and how to know how to draw our rectangle, you use your trend line to do what? Pick to the tip of this up to here. Have you seen it? Identify from here up to this place. Now you pick your rectangle box, the beginning of the trend, and you drag it to where? Here. I'm sure everyone is following, right? Like I said earlier, if you can identify this and draw your rectangle, by the time you put your pivot levels together, your pivot level, you won't need to draw the rectangular box again, except when price has gone above your ceiling or your support. Now, this is the first ceiling here, which is this one. I'm going to identify it with red. Now, this is the resistance there, and this is what? The support level here. Now, I'm going to change this to what? Blue. I'm going to change that color to blue. So until price break out of this red zone, that's when you can now duplicate your box like this. You come here, you clone it. You just clone it. You don't need to be drawing everything over and over again. You clone it and you shift it up to that extent. I'm just telling you in case if price goes above it, you do it this way. Then when you do it this way, you draw your what? What I'm about to do with this box, you're going to do the same thing with that box up there. But because price has not gone above it, let's work with what we have here, which is the what? The previous one that we have here. This new one. If price goes below this, you just clone the box and drag it and place it below. All what you need are these lines. These are the lines that you need, and these trend lines. But the most important line here is this, all the lines in the pivot level. Now we've identified this by drawing this trend line. Let me adjust it properly. Then you pick another trend line. Okay, I want to know if everybody's following. Our first pivot level is where? Can you type on the chat box? Let me know how to identify your pivot level. Type on the chat box so I can know what you're doing. If I want to place my horizontal line, where am I going to place it? Thank you. Jeremiah, thank you. Who else? It seems it's only Jeremiah that is actually following. Okay. Intersection of X, yes. Okay, look, man, correct. Now you pick your horizontal line and you put it in between the X. Now I have identified my what? My level, the pivot level. And if you can see how price respected that level. But it doesn't stop there. Now I have an upper box here and a lower box here. You will do the same thing, you pick your trend line, you identify the inner pivot levels inside the upper box and what? The lower box. I'm just going to repeat the same thing that we did here. We had a sell on gold, though it hit our stop loss and went up a bit, and it continued coming down. We have a GBP USD sell limit, which played out well, and it's still going down. And all the strategy we used was what? The rectangular strategy. So I'll pick my what? Horizontal line here. I'll pick my horizontal line and do what here? So I've identified what? Those levels. Now you can see the consolidation on these levels. It will tell you that those pivot levels are actually a strong area where price respects a lot. You can see what happened here. Price came from this support level up to this pivot level, did this. You can see what's happening here. Went back up. I told you what we do when it comes to this is what? You sell from one pivot level to the other, or you buy from one pivot level to the other. Now you can see where we had our buy limit, our sell limit on GBP USD. It was somewhere around here, 34390, somewhere around here. And see how price has dropped. So we're expecting price, our TP was 31000, if I'm not mistaken. 3200 or 31000. But the next place price is coming is to this blue line, which is expected 29638. But most times, sometimes you might just do some pips above. You can put your take profit at 29700 or 3000. It depends on how you want to do it. So now for us to identify the pivot level on the lower box down, you do the same thing here. If you don't get it, my YouTube channel, the classes will be recorded there. You can go back there and look at it, subscribe it, follow, and also send to your people to follow. Now we can see how the prices are actually respecting each pivot level. So let me reset this chart so we can see what's happening. Good. So from all indication, this is the 4 hours chart. You can see that price is creating lower highs. There's a first low, high, another low here, this high, another low here, this pullback, and I'm expecting price to drop as soon as market does what? Open for the day. So for this, I'm still expecting GBP USD to do what? Drop here. We had a sell limit somewhere around here, 390 or 490. I can't remember. I think it was on the previous chart that I deleted. Somewhere around this level, we had our sell limit, and somewhere around here is our take profit. Somewhere around here is our take profit. So I'm still expecting price to do what? Drop up to this level. Now you can see how I did my what? Rectangular strategy. Like I told you, this strategy is 95% accurate. The only thing I have with the strategy is the stop loss, because your stop loss is supposed to be above what? Your line, your previous line. But what I myself am doing, like I told you earlier, is how I put my own stop loss is above the price of the last high candle. Now let me show you this. Let's assume this closed above here and we decided to sell it from here at this level. Maybe I'm aligned this price to close and I decided to sell from this last candle. My TP is going to be above this candle. But the strategy tells you that your TP is supposed to be at the next pivot level, which the risk is very high. I don't do that because I love my risk to be between 30 pips to 50 pips. So for instance, you allow price to come all the way from here. You bought this pair at this level, and your TP is on this next pivot level, which is this the red one here. And it closed out. You on TP, you had you had how many pips? Let me count it. The risk to reward is always beautiful because the TP is always long. This is about 500 pips. If you use this strategy, 500 pips. So imagine what you're going to gain if you're patient enough to take this. Now that's by the way. And you decide that, okay, this candle came here and it closed. It did not go above or continue. What am I going to do? I want to sell it back to this level. As soon as this red candle closes, this one here, you have seen here. Let me change this to this arrow. Now you see this candle here, this red candle. You know, this is the same candle that gives you hits your take profit at 35272. Let's say that's your take profit and this candle hits it. And you expect another candle to go above, but it didn't. It closed below. Let's say you entered your next sell at this level. Your stop loss should be at the last high, which is this candle here, above here. Above this last candle. That is anything above the wick. You saw the wick there? 35500. Then your TP should be here. That is my own way of taking my own stop loss. Because in business, if you want to buy anything, maybe as a business person, you cannot buy at the cost price and sell at the cost price. Or you buy at the cost price and sell below the cost price. That is a bad business sense. So this is Forex trading. Instead of you to have a high risk because you want to have a high reward, you can actually switch it. Any strategy can be switched to your own way. You must not follow the person's, you can follow the technical part, but when it comes to the risk part of it, that's why you need to apply. You need to have the knowledge, in-depth knowledge about structure and price action before you can go from. That's why I taught you support zones before teaching you rectangle strategy. Now, if you decide to come to 1 hour and draw your zone on this place, you can use this to enter your what? Your stop loss. Imagine you drew your zone from here. I'm just trying to show you a level. You drew your zone from here and you took this trade at this point when the price closed. Let's say you didn't take it from here. You drew your zone and you expected price to do what? Go above your zone, but price did not do the same thing. It came here. All you need to do is put your stop loss above your zone, which I've taught you guys. You see how it's beautiful to combine the two together. That's why I taught you first step before the second step. If I taught you this before zoning, you will have problem with your what? With your stop loss, with your risk management. That's why I taught you zoning first. Now you saw the way I changed this thing from the rectangle. I went to 1 hour, draw my zone, and identified this pullback here, and I drew my zone from there. So imagine I took the sell from here. I would have been in a very long, from here to here. That's how many pips? It's about 200 and something pips. That's a whole lot. With 0.01, that's $200. With a standard, that's $2,000. So you can combine these two together and have a good risk reward ratio when you are trading the rectangle strategy. I don't know if you understand it. If you understand what I'm saying, can you type yes on the chat box? If you don't understand it, can you type no on the chat box? Pasha, somebody said no. Somebody said yes. Okay. Those that said no, have you gone through the zoning class? Francis and yeah, Francis. Someone said partially M. Felix, I don't understand what you mean by partially M. Francis, have you gone through the previous class, the zoning, how to identify your zones, your support and resistance zones? If you've not gone through it, I will advise you go through it. Okay, you meant partially. I haven't gone through the previous class. Okay, you need to go through the previous class so you can understand. I'll share my YouTube link in the group so you can go through it so you understand what happens in the market. What I'm trying to do here is how to manage your risks. Okay, like now you took a buy from here on this particular area, your stop loss will be here. That is more than 100 pips. Your stop loss will be on this pivot, which is too far if you are doing any risk to reward ratio. My internet is breaking. Can you hear me? The link will be shared to the group. Stanley. So why I use zones, I combine zoning with this. It will help me to reduce my how to put my stop loss. Now, for instance, I want to take that buy. I want to take this buy now. It's just for me to change this to my line chart, identify my zone, which is somewhere around here. My stop loss will be below here instead of here. It will tell me how to use my stop loss because now I can see that there's a zone here, which is from here to here. I use this pullback, this pullback here, from here to here. I use this particular pullback. So my stop loss will be somewhere around here instead of coming down here. You see the beauty of combining the two together. Because the zone will help me. You know, your zoning, the strategy for your zone is the stop loss should be either above the zone if you're selling or below the zone if you're buying. So now I've identified that price closed above my pivot level. I need to buy. But now, where can I place my stop loss? That is why I will combine this and I'll place my stop loss somewhere around here, which price may not even come to hit me. So even if price comes to hit me, the risk to reward ratio, even if I'm going to lose like $50 or $10, it won't be me losing $100 based on this strategy because of how the stop loss is. Though the reward is always high because price always respects each pivot level. So go back to my previous class on my YouTube link. I will send it to the group again. Then you can see how we all started from beginning of how trading is up to the level we are now. So now we've identified this on the 4 hours that price came all the way from 1.35272, and we're expecting price to drop all the way to 1.29638. So price is somewhere around 1.32178. So we still have a long way to go down, except to go down. That's about 242 pips. Except this, but if you can see that here, there's a consolidation here. You can see what's happening around the market here. If I change this to zone, I can identify a zone here. If I change it to line chart, I want to use my zoning strategy. I will identify that there's a zone here. This is what I use, this pullback from here to here. This pullback from here to here. Let me stretch it. That's why price is respecting that level. You can see there's something happening in between that level. That's why price is respecting it. So it's either that it's going to bounce up and obey it or break through and come down here. So those are the two things that's going to happen. So by the time market open exactly 11 today, we'll see how price is going to respect each of these levels. So my bias for GBP USD is still that it's going to drop. Based on the rectangular strategy, I'm expecting it to drop to this level before it can bounce going up or break this zone and come back here. That is my analysis for GBP USD. Based on your rectangular strategy, it's still coming down. Do you understand it? If you understand it, type 5 on the chat box. If you understand what I drew, how I got my rectangle box, how I drew my trend line and identify my pivot level. If you understand it, type 5 on the chat box before I move to the next pair. Okay, beautiful. Okay, we're going to do the same thing for GBP NZD. This is for GBP USD. So I'm expecting price to still drop down. But if anything that's going to happen is because of this consolidation we're seeing here, this level, this particular place, there's something happening here. It's either price will go up or price will do what? Drop. But based on rectangular strategy, I'm expecting the price to do what? Drop to this level, 1.29683 area. That is for GBP and USD. Now this is GBP NZD. Now the first thing is zoom out to what? Zoom out. Okay. We've identified a zone. We've identified a trend here to this place. Now you pick your trend line. You know, it's a recent one. You're not going to the recent one. This is the recent one. So you can see it from here to here. My chart is blinking. Let me check what's happening. Okay. So you can see how I zoomed out to the last and identify that the price is falling. So what am I going to do? The essence of rectangular strategy is to predict the future. What's going to happen in the future? Because price in Forex trading, whatever happened in the past is going to repeat itself in the future. Anywhere price has been in the past, price must surely come back there in the future. That's one thing about Forex trading. So now I'll pick my rectangular box. From here, I drag it up to what? This level. What are the next thing I'm going to do? Pick my rectangular line, my horizontal line, my support level with blue line, my resistance level, I will change it to what? To red line. Now I've identified that. So I need to identify my what? Pivot level. Why is price acting like this? Why is price doing all these things? Is there something happening? Which level is price at respecting? I pick my trend line. From the tip of this, I drag it up to the middle. Always make sure it's at the middle. This strategy, I know I paid money to get this, but I'm dishing it out free of charge. Not because I don't know how to charge you people, but I know that the country is bad. My joy is, you saw the kind of testimony people are sending to me, how they are making money. Someone said he actually traded with the zoning strategy and used it to pay his rent. Somebody I said offered to even buy me bone straight hair. I don't know what they call it. Is it bone straight wig or something? It's very funny because how much he's making here. So these are the kind of news I want to hear. It's not just for you to learn. I want you to practice it. Don't just learn it. Practice it on your own and use it on yourself. Use your demo account to practice everything you want to practice and be disciplined when you are trading. Be disciplined when you are trading. Do you understand? So that's how you do it. Now I've identified the first, you can just, without even talking, you can see how price respected this level. See how price broke out of here, came on here, respecting it like that. You can see. You can see how price is just respecting it. So to show you how powerful this strategy is. Now you pick your trend line again to identify the inner pivot levels in the upper box, upper rectangular box and lower rectangular box. Like I said earlier, all you need for this strategy is just these lines and the what? Trend lines. Now you see, identify here. First one and the other one here. Now to identify the other one, you do the same thing on the lower box. because I want in the future, I will just have a cash gift. Oh, I made $1 million trading this strategy. My trading is now better. Thank you. That's a thank you I want to get. Because if I tell you to give me $100 now, no, that's the end of it. And it goes. But the impacts, you might not, you will come back, you see come back, oh, I've not gotten this, I've not gotten that. But by the time we're doing this, we'll have a community of people trading Forex, making a whole lot of money. We'll make the country a better place. Now you can see a price closed at what? Our support level, which is a blue line. Two things I'm expecting. You see that price bounce up or break through this level. And if it breaks through this level, all I need to do is clone my box. Remember I told you, I don't need to just clone the box and drag it all the way here. Clone the box and drag it. Sorry, I think I've not done it. Just drag it to fit into the other box. Then do the same thing. Just draw your what's it called? Trend line. You can draw your trend line to identify the next place that price. Let me just do that. I'm still going to squeeze it back to normal. Let me just do it for the first. If price breaks through that support level, remember what you've been taught, any support level that is broken and retested, it becomes a new resistant level. So if that pivot level is broken, from what I'm seeing here, we'll be expecting price to drop to the next level. Now I've gotten the first half. I need to identify the second half. Why I'm doing this one is because you can see that price is at the bottom of our first box. And price must surely respect it by going up. To go up a bit before coming down. Okay, now, so the next place I'm expecting price to drop to is 76 watts. Okay. I just have to do it that way so I can drop it. So if price breaks through this blue line here, the next place I'm expecting price to come, if it closes below it, is to drop to this to this level here, which is 1.76569. But if price doesn't, it's going to go back up and retest at least this level. You can see what price is doing here. Price did here. You can see what price, it will come back here and retest this level here. So we have to wait till the market opens and see what happens with what? GBP NZD. But from what I'm looking at here, I need to shift this box. I didn't place it well. Okay, beautiful. You can see the price. You can even see how price came here, retested it, and did what? Respected it by going up. So what I'm even still expecting here is that price is going to break through. You see how I respect? I told you price, no matter when it comes to this level, it's going to respect it. Look at this wick. As soon as the wick got to our blue line, 1.853110, what happened? It went up. So price is still going to do what? Come down to this blue line. I'm expecting it to even break it. And does what? Go back down to that level where we saw the previous, the next pivot level. So this is a strong, you can see, look at in the past here, this is even a strong support level. That was why price respected it. You can see, go to the past here and see what's happening around here. So if price is going to respect that level, it's going to go back up. If it doesn't respect it, it will break it, retest it, then we expect it to drop. But for now, price is sitting on the what? Pivot level, support pivot level. So you should not sell until it breaks it and retests. So what you should be looking out for here is anything to buy, because it's still on the support level. You don't sell on support level. The only reason that can make you to sell is when the support level is broken and what? Retested. Sorry, my chat box is blinking. Okay, so that's what my analysis on GBP NZD. I'm expecting price to respect this level and go up a bit before dropping. Go up a bit before doing what? Dropping back. Because from the look of things, it's creating lower highs. You can see it here. You can see the lower highs here, drop. It might come back, retest here. Definitely, if it's going to respect this, the next level to retest is this level over here. Let me change this to arrow. You see this level here? 1, 2, 3. That's a strong level. So if price is going to go up this way, let me use my drawing marker. It will go up like this. Do something of this nature. Break it and drop. If you understand what I did here, type 7 on the chat box so I can move to the next. I have very few minutes to finish this call. If you understand what I did here. Yeah, that's what I told you. Yeah. That's what I said. It's on the support level, so you should be thinking of buying. If you're going to buy, this is the level you will buy. This level here, where you can see this. But if you want to sell, you have to wait. If you must sell this pair, you wait for something like this. Break, retest, and do what? If you want to sell, wait for this. But for now, it's still going to go back a bit up and do something of this nature, break out, because I still see that price is going to sell from here. But if it doesn't, if it's buying from here, it will just go all the way up like this. First, break out, do like this, and that's it. That's what you're expecting. But if there's nothing, if it won't respect the buy, this is what you should expect, a sell. But do not sell this pair when market open until you see a breakout of this blue line, 1.85310. Until it breaks out from that zone, that level, retest it, then you do what? You sell. If not, look for a buy on this because it's still on the support level. Do you understand what I mean now, Yaya? Because I saw your question. Yeah, you understand. Look, man, do you understand what I just explained? Okay, beautiful. Okay, now so I'm gonna move to my baby. Everybody knows I trade gold because she's the only pair that can give me 300 pips in a day. 300, 100, 200 pips. While others are still juggling and doing this thing, gold has delivered a whole lot. So let me draw this here. This is what I'm expecting here. Price to continue this, come out of this, break. If it's going to continue selling, or it does this way, go up, consolidate, breakout, and like that. If it's going to buy. But if not, I'm expecting this drop coming down here. Now, my baby, gold. We've all known that this guy is one crazy boy. You just have to be careful when you're trading gold. Gold is a player. So if you don't have the heart to accommodate a player, please stick to other pairs that are very responsible. Gold is a very responsible boy. but he always take care of everybody that comes close to it. So now we've identified this trend, which is this one. This one has just started, but the most visible one is from here to here. So you pick your trend line, you draw from here all the way to the top here. Pick your rectangular box, drag it here, all the way here. You can since this one has so many candles, you can just decide, okay, let me clone it. Let me show you how to clone. I've shown you how to clone up and down. I've not shown you how to clone by the side. You can as well clone by the side. Just take it and do like this. Clone it and push it to this level. Now, when you clone the side level cloning, it always have an SS. So what you're going to do is push this up all to this level. So what I did? There's always going to be an SS when you clone it by the side. So what you're going to do is just to make sure it's on the same level up here and up here. So now we have a box that contains, you know why I clone by the side, because if I want to use all these, there's more candles by the side, unlike the previous one that we did. You can see that there's no much candle. So that's why I just decided to draw it that way. GBP USD, you can see the candle here is just, the candle came out of the box is a few. So it's something that you can actually just work with the lines, the pivot lines. But when I identified the trend on these gold charts, the SSs for the candles are much. I just decided to clone it to the side. So I'm going to work with this particular box. Now pick my trend line from here up to this level. And up to this level. So I'm going to identify the level, pivot level by this. Oh, but first I need to identify my ceiling. Sorry about that. This is the ceiling. You can use different colors. Let me use different colors for this particular one. Then identify your what? Change it to blue. Let me put these pivot levels. All the pivot level, I'm going to change them to purple. Purple. Now you pick your trend line again and do the same thing for the first upper box. The more you practice, the more you get it. Trust me. And this, you can see how this price just respects our pivot levels. See how beautiful it is. Gold is beautiful. You can see why I said let's use this. You can see how price closed below our pivot level. So what are we expecting to do on gold as soon as market open? Drop this baby. Just drop her. Pick another pivot level, identify here. You can see it. If you can combine this and zone together, if this is only what you learn in forex trading and you are not successful, then trading is not your thing. Just go and look for some other profession to do. But if you can do this, practice it and be disciplined. For those that were in the class, the last time that Don Jazzy was in the class, what did he say? If you learn all this and you're not disciplined, forget it. It won't help you. Your risk management is all what you need here. If you can just kill that greed, you'll be very successful. Because my next year goal is to grow a $1,000 account to what? a minimum of $50,000 by the end of the year. $50,000, $1,000 account to $50,000. That's my next year goal. If it's more than 50,000, it's going to go to $100,000. But the goal is $1,000 to what? $50,000 at the end of December 2021. So if you're going to join me, you need to be disciplined. Very disciplined. Why trading? Because it's not a, now, you all know I've stopped trading. My trading for the year, I've stopped it. So you can see how price is respecting our pivot level. Just look at it from here. It broke out all the way. You imagine you bought this all the way to this level, your take profit, and you broke out from here. It did not retest. You left it. It came back here. You decide to buy it from here to this level. Your take profit is out. You bought it from here again, here, and you keep doing this. You bought to this level. It went back up and it stayed on your resistance zone. Now let's forget about what happened in the past. Now it broke out. Price broke out of this purple line, this pivot level, retested it perfectly, and you decide to sell to the next pivot level. You're making money. Even if it went down, some people will see this and say, hey, let me push it down. By the time the price has gone this way, you must have even secured your profits. Okay, now price did not get to this level. Price came back here, broke out, did a fake breakout, came back up. Let me reset it so you can see it well. You can see it here. You see what price did. So two things are going to happen. It's either that this baby drops here. Before I can buy this pair, price has to close above 1843943. At least two H4 candle has to close above bullish. Then I can buy to 19000 comfortably. But since it's below my pivot level, I'm going to sell according to the strategy. And your stop loss will be what? Let me reset it well. This last candle here, this last high, this particular one, look at the high there. That's where your stop loss should be. That's about 50 pips. But the strategy on its own, this is where your stop loss is supposed to be, which is outrageous because nobody has $1 million in their account or $100,000 in your account. It's only those that have 100,000 or those that don't use stop loss that can leave it open. But no, you cannot trade without stop loss. So imagine that your stop loss is here, 50 pips stop loss, and this pair sold all through the neck to the next level, 1736. Now your risk reward ratio is perfect. So that's how your trading should be. You can see how this guy broke out from here, retested it, and you do what? You sold it to the next level. From here to here is how many pips? Let's say you sold from this candle. 487 pips. 487 pips. That's good. It's okay for any 0.01 is giving you $48. 0.1 is giving you $487. One standard is giving you 4,000. So you need to look at trading in that aspect. If you must follow rectangle strategy, you need to be disciplined and you need to be patient because it's only on 4 hours. You can't do it on 1 hour. You can do something wonders with it on 1 hour. Like I told you, if you want to combine 1 hour to it, you have to use your zones. Let's try it with this. Let me reset this chart. Okay, this is the first zone. Then after the last pullback, this is the first zone. It's even on this is a consolidation area. Now you can see how if you combine it with zones, you can see why price closed at that particular place. Zoning is very beautiful. You can see that price is on top of our zone. So now if this market opens by 11 o'clock, I'm expecting this price to come back up to this level because it must respect this zone that it closed. It will come back up, at least it will gap. It will gap up a bit. You know, your H4, let's go to H4 so you can see. You can see H4 is showing you one candle that is just like this, but it's not telling you that the candle is on top of a zone. But by the time we came to H1 to see what's happening, why the market closed that way, you can see that there's a consolidation here that was happening here. Look at it, it's just like a head and shoulder. You can see this is the left shoulder, this is the big head, and this is the right shoulder. So before you can call this a confirmed head and shoulder, price needs to do what? Break through this zone like this, break through this neckline, retest the neckline, then do what? Drop. You see how beautiful zoning to combine zone and rectangle together, how it can help you. Now, if you're thinking that this thing was going to buy, this is what you should expect. Break out of this, retest it, then do what? Always wait for a retest, then you buy. If you want to buy this pair, you have to wait for it to be out of this purple level, which is 1843.947. Let's say 83.44. Price has to break above it and retest it before you do what? You buy. Always wait for a retest, because that breakout could be what? A fake out. So wait for a retest before you do what? You go for the trade. Now you see the combination of the zoning. You've seen why price actually closed here yesterday, because look at the noise here. There's so many prices, so many small candles here. There's a consolidation here. So there's something happening here. In between this place, price is being trapped. So you need to wait for a breakout. But from the rectangle strategy, it's telling me that price is below our what? Price is below the pivot. And when price is below the pivot, you're expecting it to sell, because this last candle closed what? Below our pivot level. So I'm expecting price to do what? Drop, according to rectangle strategy. So if the market open, expect a bullish gap in the market based on what I saw on H1. There must be a bullish gap a bit or a bearish gap. Then price will go up, cover the gap, and start coming down. As soon as that happens, you can now do what? Take a sell on this pair. So for gold, we're expecting what? Based on rectangle strategy, let me put I am the one that analyzes it. I am expecting price to drop based on rectangle. Okay, so I'm still expecting a drop on this, but the market will determine that. As soon as this line is broken, drop this pair, it will come down. But before you can buy this pair, wait for market to close above. You have a lot to, if you close it above it, let's say you bought it at this level, you saw it late and you entered at 1849, you still have enough money to take from the market. So you just have to be patient and wait to see what price action does before you do what? Enter a trade. Don't just jump into a trend. Always wait for confirmation before you do that, okay? Just imagine this pair. You saw something like this buy, and you just entered the buy. And you entered late. You saw the buy first, you decided to enter. It gave you small money and it dropped. You do not wait for a retest, complete retest. And you think that this is a retest, but it's close below the zone, came down, and look at it's consolidating. So it's either it's going to continue coming down or to break up. So this retest now did not close above my pivot level, so I can't take a buy because it's now what's under my pivot level. So what I'm expecting for this particular pair is that the market is going to do what? Drop. If you understand what I did, type 9. I don't understand what you mean by gap, bullish gap. Okay, bullish gap is when price, like now, let me go, I don't think, okay, let me use this to draw. This is price here, like this. Price, you expect price to continue moving this way. Instead of it to go, you will now see something, the price will now jump all the way to this place. So this is a bullish gap. This hole here, this demarcation is what? The gap. price jumped. When the market opened, price did not continue just like the way you saw here, here, and here. It now opened a gap and continue like this. So if you see something like this, you just expect the market to do something of this nature. Go up a bit, come down, close the gap, especially when you sit on 15 minutes. Close the gap, retest the zone, gap, and come down. Or market to do what? Go up a bit, come down, close the gap, and do what? Continue going back up this way. Yeah, do you understand what I mean? If you understand what I just did, can you type on the chat box? You understand the gap? And the gap that always close is only gap on 15 minutes. Any gap on 1 hour, 4 hours, D1, forget those gaps. It takes time to close. But 15 minutes gaps always close that particular day. Always. I want you to take that. If you see a gap in 15 minutes, okay, good. If you see a gap on 15 minutes, make sure it's closed before you take that trade. But any gap you see on 1 hour, H4, D1, it can take 2 days to close. D1 can take 3 months. But 15 minutes chart always, 15 minutes gap always close that particular day. So please take that notes. Take it very serious, okay? If you have any question, please can you type on the chat box so we can close for today, because I'm super excited. You know, I've stopped trading, but my other Forex business is giving me a whole lot of money. If you're my status, I said I'm excited about tomorrow because one of my partners will be paid over 1.5 million naira from my other Forex investment business. So I'm super excited that everybody around me is winning. You can't know me and you become broke. So even if I've stopped trading for the year, my other side business is giving me a whole lot of money. Imagine a partner earning 1.5 million weekly commission. You should understand how that person will feel during this pandemic. So I need you to take your finances very serious. People are really making legitimate money in the Forex business. Like I tell, not everybody will learn how to trade Forex, but everybody can earn money in the Forex market. So if you are not profitable in the Forex market, because just like you, not everybody will be a pilot, but that doesn't stop you from traveling to any country you want to travel to. So if you don't know this thing, don't kill yourself. Look for a good Forex investment platform and let them do the business for you. I'm a good Forex trader, but I also have investment in a Forex investment platform because I also need people who don't know how to trade or who don't have the time to trade to earn big also in the Forex market. $6.3 trillion daily is no small thing. Everybody in the world needs to partake from it, and you don't need to be left behind. So please, if you have any question, type it on the chat box so I can answer the question before we close this, we end the class for today. So for GPP, USD, like I said earlier, I'm still expecting a drop. Market to come down to this level, 1, 2, market to coming down to what? 129, 1.29700. 1.29700. Market will drop. That's what I expect. That's somewhere around here. GBP NZD is on my support level. I'm expecting price to go above, to move up to this level. $1.9 thousand. Market should go up a bit. Market is currently on the support level. So I am expecting a push upside 1.9000 before the drop. If there's going to be a drop. So this is my analysis for this guy to go up a bit before the drop. If it doesn't respect the drop, it will continue going up like that. But from the look of things, it's already coming, creating lower highs, which is a sell market. So no question on the chat box. So I believe everybody learned something today. If you're super excited about the week, type 777 on the chat box. 777. If you're super excited, type 777. Okay. I need a link for my recap. Yes, Mr. Femi is going to help us. There's a way he's a technical person. He's very good with all that. I'm very sorry. I'm not technical about with all these things. He's going to put it on my YouTube channel, and you can go back to the YouTube channel. But I'm going to send the YouTube channel to the group. So our previous classes that we've actually we've done, you can go through it so you can combine. For those who know how to do the zoning, combine your zones with the rectangle strategy. It's going to give you tremendous. See, I want you to be ready for next year. Next year, 2020, by God's grace, I need everybody on that platform, Master Trader Institute, to be successful trader. That when you look at your MT4, you'll be proud that you met someone like me. That is the essence for this. You see that I'm not charging anybody. I just want you. Your success is what's going to make me happy. I want tomorrow. I've met only 2 people, if I'm not mistaken. Either 2 or one, just one person. 1 or 2 from MIT. Everybody was from Twitter. Most people are from Twitter. I don't know you, I've not met you. But I want, when you see me one day, you're like, oh, I recognize her. This is Peace Eze, the queen of pips. Thank you. You actually made my trading life good and this and that. I'm successful with this because the testing I'm getting that people are sending to me on my personal DM, this is what I want. That's the impact I want to get. That people's life are changing because of this. So please take these things very serious. You know, they say when something is a wolf, people don't take it serious. But let this be the first wolf that you're going to take serious in your life. I want you to come back and look at your MT4 and say, thank God I met this lady. So thank you very much for being part of this class, and God bless you. Practice, practice, practice. I will send everything to the group. The link for the new members, go to my YouTube link, share it with anybody you know, because it's starting from the beginning, very first. Femi, you can stop share. It starts from the very beginning of how Forex